Justice Barrett?
Mr. Ratner, do you think that the Libertad Act abrogates sovereign immunity for agencies and instrumentalities of countries other than Cuba?
So we've stated in our brief that the answer is probably yes, if that question ever came up to the court. We have sort of a host of statutory indicia. Most of them would apply to everyone. Some apply only to Cuban instrumentalities. I think there's probably enough that Congress would have said other nations who have instrumentalities that are knowingly and intentionally trafficking in the confiscated property, that they'd be on the hook too. But we don't think, and the government doesn't think, the court needs to answer that question, given that some of the indicia are Cuba specific, and we've never seen a non-Cuba.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that's hard for you is that, you have a lot in the statute that points to Cuba, and that makes Cuba an exception. I think it's a different question, a slightly different question, whether the statute is clear enough if you're talking about other sovereigns. And so even though I agree with you and the government that we wouldn't have to answer that question directly, I think it lurks in the background of deciding whether this waiver or this abrogation is clear enough.
Yeah, Justice Barrett, I don't think the 1996 Congress would have had any qualms if other entities that were, again, we're talking about instrumentalities, so essentially state-controlled companies, were partnering with Cuban state-controlled companies, knowingly and intentionally trafficking, that they would be swept in just as private parties are. But again, if the court does have qualms about that, it's a purely hypothetical circumstance at this point, so we don't see any need to weigh in on it.